Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
A number of violent explosions has shaken 3 areas in Baghdad. The first took place in Rabia Street, the second in Qadisiyah neighborhood, the third and worst explosion went off in the Minaret Street in western Baghdad. The explosion destroyed a U.S. tank and completely destroyed 2 military vehicles. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army is carrying out intense attacks on Sadr City, killing and wounding many people. The issue of releasing 2 female scientists has been suspended after an official American source denied that 2 women would be released soon.
For hours, the Iraqi capital was subjected to the most violent and bloody events. After violent clashes in Sadr City in eastern Baghdad, and after American airplanes bombed the city and tanks surrounded it, violent explosions went off in various areas. One of these explosions, using a booby-trapped car, targeted a group of volunteers for the Iraqi police and army. Dozens of volunteers were killed or wounded, as well as residents.
The army volunteers were over there. These are the people who wanted to protect us. Unknown men came and started firing at them, and the Iraqi police brought them here to save their lives. They closed off the street. Then a car sped by quickly and blew up there, where the crater is. Inside the car, there were hand grenades and mortar shells, destroying half of the street.
4 hours had not passed before another violent explosion went off in Minaret Street near the Syed Club. A Hummer and a U.S. tank were destroyed. Those inside were either killed or wounded. U.S. forces quickly cordoned off the area with armored cars and tanks, closing off the streets leading to the site until the killed and wounded were transported.
We saw an Opel car crash into them. There were 3 cars, 2 Hummers and 1 tank. The Opel sped, crashing in the middle of them, and then exploded.
The car exploded directly on the American cars, at least 6 of them. The victims were all Americans, at least 12 of them. The cars that were parked on the side of the main street were also damaged.
This explosion and others before it has widened the circle of dangerous areas around the capital. Among them, neighborhoods and streets, which before this were considered secure. This is the 3rd violent explosion that has shaken the Iraqi capital of Baghdad, sidelining the city into long hours of violent clashes. New armed clashes took place in Sadr City in Baghdad between Muqtada Sadr's militia and the American army. Dozens of people were killed and wounded after days of calm. The residents of the city woke up to an attack carried out by American forces using planes and helicopters which hovered low over the area. Earlier, the Tawheed and Jihad group, led by Abu Mus'ab al-Zarqawi, beheaded 2 American hostages. They were Jack Hensley and Eugene Armstrong. The 3rd British hostage, Kenneth Beagley, is still alive after the U.S. forces rejected a 48-hour deadline to release female Iraqi prisoners jailed in American prisons in Iraq. Meanwhile, a U.S. official said that they found a headless body. However, they have not identified it yet. The official added that there is no evidence that the body is of the 2nd American hostage who was executed. At this time, reports indicate that a female Iraqi scientist will be released soon. Her name is Rahab Rashid Taha, known as Mrs. Jaythuma, who has been jailed by U.S. forces in Iraq for more than 1 year. The report is studying the issue of releasing the other female scientist, Huda Saleh Mehdi Ammash, a biologist whose name was included in the list of 55 leaders of the former Iraq